Oh yeah, after last week, I feel good wearing this jersey again. It was a long time. It's just a lot of shame, a lot of embarrassment that came with wearing one of these jerseys. And yes, this man may not be on the team any longer, but it just feels good. Feels good to have the black and silver on. Man, oh man, do I wish I could say something more about this schedule this week, but let's get into it. What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of Meat on the 50. You know what it is. It is week 10. It is time for our picks episode. And man, oh man, we're gonna have a quick and easy, good one for you this week because we got we're introducing a new segment. And I don't know what's wrong with the NFL schedule makers this week, but they could have done a much better job. So, without any further ado, let's start the show. Welcome back. Welcome back to Meat on the 50. Welcome back to another edition of Meat on the 50. It is NFL week number 10, and we are moving on to our picks episode. It is time. It's picking time. We're breaking down these games, and we'll see what happens here. It's going to be nice and easy, quick and easy. We got a new segment for you, and we're just going to power on through. As always, joining me, he's back, and we're glad he's back. I'm glad I was alone. Okay. I was all alone. I was just so scared. I didn't even know what to do with myself last week. But he is back and he's ready. He's rested, just like his team. He is none other than one of my best friends, Mr. Brandon Sullivan. Brandon, how are we doing this week?
We are doing good. Happy to be back and ready for the 49ers to come off that bye week. We got a big game this week.
Yeah, I like it. It is a massive game for the 49ers. The Bengals have a big game. The Raiders might even have a big game. We'll see how that game kind of shakes out there. But before we get into this week's action, let's quickly remind you how we did last week. Let's put it up on the screen. Yes, for yourself, Brandon kicking some absolute ass last week. 12-2, 1-0 on his guaranteed victory. We had a double guaranteed victory last week there on the Bengals. Bengals handling business against the Buffalo Bills there on Sunday night. For myself, 9-5, 1-0 on my guaranteed victory. Like I said, double guaranteed victory on the Bengals. And I love it. I love double guaranteed victories, and I love when they come through. Overall for the season, that puts us at, for yourself, 89-47, 8-1 on your guaranteed victories, kicking some butt this year. For myself, 82-54, 7-2 on my guaranteed victories, and for our special guest, 43-33, 2-3 on their guaranteed victories. Let's wipe that off the screen because we are introducing a brand new segment that's entitled Rapid Fire Round Picks, baby. Yeah, it's the Rapid Fire Round Picks. There's just a lot of games, that at this point in the season, we really don't need to talk about. We really don't need to spend a lot of time on. And so, with that being said, we're not going to waste your time. We're not going to waste our time. We're going to keep it nice, short, sweet, and simple. So, we're going to quickly go through some of these games that really don't matter at all. And then we're going to focus on some of the games that actually do matter after we finish the rapid fire round, right? Brandon, you ready?
Yes, I am.
Let's do it. Our first ever rapid fire round section. Here we go. We're starting us off on our Thursday night game. We got the Carolina Panthers at the Chicago Bears. Kicking us off. What do you got for us?
Garbage game, Bears 24-17.
I like it. I am actually going to go with the Panthers here. Yes, I'm going to go with the Panthers 24-17. Boom, stole your score. Yeah, but I'm going to go with the Panthers 24-17, getting a much-needed victory there on the road. Our next game, we got the Colts traveling to Foxborough, take on the Patriots. What do you got for me, Colts, Patriots?
I got the Colts winning this one 21-10.
I'm right there with you, but I think the Colts score a little bit more. I got the Colts handling business 28-14. Our next game, we got the New Orleans Saints traveling to the Minnesota Vikings. What do you got for me?
I got the Vikings winning this one at home. I think just simply because they're at home, I'm going to pick the Vikings in a close one, 31-24.
You know, after Joshua Dobbs' impressive performance, I'm right there with you. I'm going Vikings 27-17. I love my 24-17s, but I'm going 27-17. Vikings handling business at home. Our next game, we got the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you got for me?
Just crazy. Pittsburgh 5-3. Never would have thought, but I don't know. I just think Pittsburgh's going to win this one 24-20.
Yeah, you know, Pittsburgh may be the worst 5-3 team in the history of the NFL, but I'm going Steelers handling business 24-10 at home. Our next game, we got the Tennessee Titans traveling to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What do you got for me?
I expect Tampa Bay to bounce back. It should be a close one. I got Tampa Bay in this one, 28-24.
I like it. I'm actually going to go the opposite direction. I think Will Levis bounces back, and I think Will Levis gets the victory. So I'm going Will Levis, 28-24. Titans get the victory there on the road. And then we're moving right along with our rapid fire round. We got the Atlanta Falcons traveling to the Arizona desert, the Battle of the Dirty Birds. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I got the Falcons winning this one 24-10.
Boom. Matching scores, baby. Matching teams. Love it right off the bat. We got the Falcons handling business 24-10. Then we got the New York Giants traveling to the Dallas Cowboys. What do you got for me?
I think Dallas wipes the floor with them. I'm picking Dallas in this one 35-10.
Yeah, I mean, we're thinking alike. I got Dallas 42-17 handling business there at home. Our next game, we got the Seattle Seahawks traveling to the Washington to take on the Washington Commanders. What do you got for me?
It's the other way around. Washington is traveling to Seattle.
Sorry, you're right. Thank you.
I do think, you know what? Upset of the week. I'm going to pick Washington here. I think Washington wins this one 24-21.
Perfect. Thank you. Yes, Washington traveling to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. You're going Commanders. Seahawks are at home. I'm going to take the Seahawks. I'll take the Seahawks. I really don't think by much, but I think it's going to be a 28-24 game. I think it's going to be very close. Seahawks get the job done there at home. And then our last game, we got the Denver Broncos and the Buffalo Bills.
This should be a close one, but I'm going to pick Buffalo since they're at home. I'm going to pick Buffalo in this one 28-21.
I like it. I like it. And now for the first time ever, we're going to have our guaranteed victory in the rapid fire round. Yes, we're going to Buffalo Bills here in a guaranteed victory over the Denver Donkeys at home, handling business, dominating. I think they dominate the Denver Donkeys 35-17, making a statement there at home. Boom, done with the rapid fire round, which leaves us only a few games to talk about, right? So nice, so pleasant. So going all the way back to Sunday morning, leading us off, we got the Houston Texans traveling to Paycor Stadium, traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Houston Texans coming off a dramatic victory last week, traveling to Cincinnati. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I think that this is going to be the best game of the morning. I mean, you got an emerging quarterback in CJ Stroud going up against who I believe right now is playing like the best quarterback in the NFL. And that's not even close in Joe Burrow. So I think going into the jungle, I think that's going to be tough. I think that the task is going to be a little too tall. So I have a guaranteed victory. I do think the Bengals 100% win this game. And I think they win by a couple of scores. I'm picking the Bengals in this one, 31-17.
I like it. Yeah, this game, I love your prediction of it being the most exciting game of the morning. I do see a couple games there that could possibly, kind of rival it. But at the same time, this game is just with how the Texans are playing. And what's funny is I texted you as soon as Baker scored that touchdown. I was like, the Houston dumpster fire Texans are back. And CJ Stroud just led an amazing drive, 44 seconds, I believe it was, and just took over the game, scored, game over, donezo. Put the Houston dumpster fire Texans to bed. So the Houston Texans, man, oh man, do they have their franchise player, it looks like, and some franchise pieces, it looks like, in Tank Dell, Nico Collins, and some of those other, Dalton Schultz, and some of those other weapons that they have there on offense. And then what their defense, you know, it's kind of silent, but the defense ain't bad either. So they're going to have to definitely get more pieces, get more obviously talent on that defense. But the Texans moving in the right directions. However, we talked about it on a review episode. Right now, the Bengals, they look like they are in mid-season form. They look like they are in rolling form. And yeah, I would not want to play the Bengals right now. Joey B looks unstoppable. Now, I'm sure he'll have one of his human games here coming up here in one of these next few games, I imagine. But I do imagine him to handle business against the Texans. And I do think that this is going to be one of the higher scoring games. I think it's going to be 35-27. I do think that the Bengals get the job done. They're at home. And I do think, like you said, it is going to be one of the best games of the morning. Our next game in the morning, we have the San Francisco 49ers trying to stave off 4 losses in a row. That would be something. They're traveling down to the sunny state of Florida, to the city of Jacksonville, to take on the rolling Jacksonville Jaguars. Niners, Jaguars, what do you got for me?
You know, I'm not very confident at all, to be honest with you. Something's just not right with our defense. And I don't want to put it necessarily all on the players, because we had this defense for 3 years in a row, was extremely stout with the same core that we have. So we need a coaching change if we lose this game in the defensive side, on the defensive side of the ball. Just because, you know, our defense is what we usually depend on to get us in good situations and to get us good field position and things like that. We rely on our turnovers. That's always been part of San Francisco 49er football. So we can't get those stops, you know, it's just not going to work. So Steve Wilks, I don't like that he's up in the booth. I really do think that he should be down there with the players. I just think it's kind of like a hands-off thing. I don't like coaches up in the booth. I never do. When they show them, it just pisses me off. You need to be able to hold your players accountable and also celebrate with them when it's, you know, it's just a totally different vibe.
Agreed.
I just think that he's calling too many blitzes. And when you call a blitz, you have one less or 2 less people back in coverage, which allows open windows for quarterbacks. They're going to get the ball off quicker. You're not going to get those sacks with, you know, Nick and Chase. Like, so something needs to change, and I hope they made those adjustments over. I'm not very confident at all. I think that if we do win this game, it's going to be a close one. It's going to come down to the end. So going to pick the Niners in this one, in a close one, 31-28. But, you know, this is one time where I'm like, I don't know if I always am going to pick the Niners because that's where my heart is. But, you know, if there was a time where I wasn't going to pick the Niners, this is where it would be. I'm very, very torn on what's going to happen. I think it could go either way. Jacksonville 6-2, Niners 5-3. I'm very, very worried that they're going to lose this game.
Yeah, this is one of the biggest games of the season for both teams, and it just got a whole lot bigger for the Niners now that they've coming off 3 losses. You cannot lose 4. You cannot lose 4 straight. You just can't lose 4 straight. Jacksonville. This is, like I keep saying about Jacksonville, this is another statement-making game. This is a game where you can go out and show that we are not the same Jacksonville Jaguars like we used to be. We are not the same abysmal Jacksonville Jaguars, as I used to call them. We are now the new, ready to go, ready to roll Jacksonville Jaguars. So this game has a lot of weight behind it. With everything that the Niners have going against them right now, I do think that actually works in their favor. So with that being said, I do think that the Niners get the job done here. I do think that is actually going to be an extremely close game. How close? I got 24-23 with Jake Moody hit a game-winning field goal there at the end to seal the deal and send the Niners on to victory there in Jacksonville, thus ending their 3-game losing streak, sending them to 6-3, sending Jacksonville to 6-3, and hopefully giving the Niners that confidence they need for the rest of the season. But Niners get the job done 24-23 on a walk-off field goal. Calling it right now. And then moving on to our afternoon, a game that we need to talk about. We got the Detroit Lions traveling to the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego. This is going to be an interesting game. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I think that, I think the Lions are going to go in and beat the Chargers. I just have to favor the Lions in this one. I just think it's, they're playing so well. And, I think it'll be a close game, but Detroit they're having a really good year. And, and so good for them. I think Detroit wins this one 24-17. Yeah,
I think Detroit, like you, I think Detroit goes into Los Angeles and makes a statement. I think this is their statement game. This is a game where, it really could go either way with how Justin Herbert has the Chargers playing. Chargers are very up and down. Brandon's favorite phrase, consistently inconsistent. That's the Chargers. That is some of these teams in the NFL. The Buffalo Bills, but the Chargers are consistently inconsistent. You do not know what Charger team you're going to get until you step on the field and you start playing. Because you could be at one of the most amazing teams or you could get one of the most embarrassing teams. So it's going to be a really back and forth. I really do believe. I do think it's going to be a back and forth. I do think that the Lions, though, come out on top here. I do think it's going to be a high-scoring game, 32-28. And I do think the Lions get the big victory there in Los Angeles, sending them 7-2. Am I reading that correctly? Would they be 7-2?
Yep.
7-2, Detroit. You can get there. We'll see what happens. I got the Detroit Lions handling business there on the road. And the last game I want to talk about, the very last game I want to talk about, we got the...
I have one more. I think we have one more.
After?
Yeah.
Which one's after? Which one did I miss? Oh, you're right. We didn't do the Browns and the Ravens, right? Right? Okay. We'll back up there. We're going to back it up, backtrack it a little bit. We got the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. I knew why I wanted to save that game because that's a very good divisional game. We got the Cleveland Browns traveling to Baltimore. Big divisional game there in the AFC North. What do you got for me?
Yeah, no, I got the Ratbirds beating the Dukies. I think that the Ratbirds are going to win this one 27-17 because they are at home. So I think Jake's Ratbirds get it done.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to be with you there. I do think that the Ratbirds do get the job done there at home, strictly because they are at home. And I would love, trust me, I would love the Cleveland Dukies to actually get the job done there to wrap us up in the morning. But I do think with the way that the Ravens are playing, with all the pieces that the Ravens have, that chemistry, I got the Ravens handling business here at home. I do think it's a little bit closer. I'm going to go a weird score. We're going 26-22. Little scoreagami there, throwing something weird out. But I'm going Ravens 26, Browns 22. Ravens handling business there at home. All right, there we go. Moving on to our last game, our Sunday night game. We got the New York Jets traveling to the newly imaged, the rejuvenated, the re-energized Las Vegas Raiders. Jets, Raiders. What do you think happens in Antonio Pierce's second game as head coach?
Yeah, I think the Raiders kind of repeat what they did last week. I just think the New York Jets are kind of declining, and I think the Raiders are slowly elevating. So I'm going to pick the Raiders in this one. I do think they win this one 31-10.
Yeah, I think the Raiders are on the ascension. I think the Raiders are on the up. The elevator is going up there in Las Vegas. So with that new energy, with that new revitalization, about to head into their bye week, I believe in week 10 after this week is going to be their bye week. This is going to be a big victory. This is going to be a massive victory for the team. Get to 500 heading into your bye. That's exactly what you want. Turn the season around. 6 losses, you could easily get into the wild card. That is definitely not out of the realm of possibility. So with the new energy that this team has, I am very excited to watch the Raiders in the second half of the season. I have the Raiders dominating the Jets, and I've been praising Z Willie. He's been playing decent. He's been having the Jets playing all right. But yeah, that game was embarrassing against the Los Angeles Chargers. So I got the Raiders embarrassing the New York Jets again, 35-13, excuse me. I got the Raiders embarrassing the Jets, 35-13. They're at home, moving Antonio Pierce, Aiden O'Connell to 2-0. And then, I guess Aiden O'Connell is 2-1 since he had that one game. But we'll give him 2-0. Antonio Pierce moving to 2-0. They're turning the Raider season around. That's going to do it. That is going to do it for our picks edition of Meat on the 50. Like that, like I said, nice and easy. Rapid fire round introduction. We'll hone that down. We'll get that nice and crispier for you as the season goes on. But like I said, we're always growing. We're always adding. We're always looking ways to make it easier for you. As always, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. Brandon, any last words for the people?
Just excited. We got 2 games, both of us in that morning window. So, I think they're both going to be probably potentially the best games of the week. And also, I think your game is going to have the best quarterbacking of the week.
Ooh, I like it. I like those calls. Quickly, who had the best first half of the season in your mind?
That's tough just because, I'm going to say it's Detroit because no one was expecting that. I'm going to say it's Detroit.
The worst?
The Cardinals.
I like it. The best second half?
Who's going to have the best second half?
Hmm?
The Bengals.
Most excited to watch in the second half?
The Bengals.
Okay, I like it. Best first half for me. It's either going to be I'm going to go with the Ravens. I want to say the Lions, but I do think it's the Ravens. I did not expect the Ravens to be 7-2. I did not expect the Ravens to be tied for the number 1 seed there in the AFC. I definitely thought the Bengals had that opportunity. So I need the Ravens to start losing. But the Ravens, to me, had the best first half just because they avoided major injury. I know J.K. Dobbins went down, but Mark Andrews is healthy. Lamar Jackson is healthy. So we'll see what happens going into the second half of the season. But I definitely think the Ravens there. Most disappointing. The most disappointing, I am going to say, is the Giants. The Giants are the most disappointing team in my mind, just because of Daniel Jones coming off that playoff run last year, getting paid, and then falling flat. So most excited to see in the second half. Best second half, I do think it's going to be the Bengals. Most excited to see is the Raiders. That's going to do it for this edition of Meat on the 50. We're on to week 10. It's picking time. All that's left is the action, the games to go down. I am Jacob Cutler, one half of the Sports Guys. He is Brandon Sullivan, the other half of the Sports Guys. And together, we make up the full encompassing of all the Sports Guys. Until our review episode, until week 11, I guess, moving on to after week 11. You know what it is. Brandon and Jake, we're out.